Great. Going live. Just 1 minute. Yeah, start. Venkat, can you do one thing? Can you please share the YouTube link? Vijaya, good morning.
Good morning, Sanjay ji. Sorry, I was on mute.
No problem. Yeah, so just I would like to let our speaker know that Vijay is our president of the Boston Study Group.
Hello, Jai Bhim. Can you give me 2 minutes? I will just.
Yeah, sure.
Can you see whether my slide is working or not?
Yeah,
I will just change the few slides.
yeah, you can just change it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning, Kamalaji. Sorry, I'm not sure if you heard my voice or not. This is Vijaya. Sorry.
Yeah. Jai Bhim, this is Baba Sahib.
Yeah. Jai Bhim. Baba Sahib.
Okay, so let's start. So,
Jai Bhim,
Dr. Kamble, you are ready, correct?
Yeah, Arif, hi.
Jai Bhim, everybody. Jai Bhim,
Jai
Professor
Bhim,
Kamble,
Jai
thank
Bhim.
you very much.
Good morning, Arif. Okay. So good morning from Boston. We are delighted to have you to join us for Ambedkar Lecture Series session. ALS is dedicated to honoring the life and legacy of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, a visionary leader, social reformer, and champion of equality and justice. My name is Sanjay Bhagat, and it's a pleasure to be today's ALS moderator. In commemoration of Dr. Ambedkar's invaluable contributions, Boston study groups have curated a series of lectures that explore various aspects of his life, work, and ideology. Our esteemed speakers at Ambedkar Lecture Series will delve into topics such as caste annihilation, constitutional rights, gender equality, education, economic justice, and Dalit empowerment, shedding light on the relevance of Dr. Ambedkar's teachings in today's context. And I would like to take opportunity to talk about the Boston Study Group. We are celebrating its 10th year anniversary this year. It is a non-profit organization registered with the IRS based in New England, USA. We are an Ambedkarite organization dedicated to creating a just and equitable society. We organize study groups, monthly meetings, lecture series, and other social activities in the Boston area to support our mission. Our members include individuals, families, students, scholars, academics, and workers who share our vision of equality and upliftment. We focus on creating support structures and working with students from historical marginalized backgrounds. We are inspired by figures who have worked for human welfare, from Buddha, Sant Ravidas to Savitribai and Jyotirao Phule, Periyar, and Dr. Ambedkar. 6 June is celebrated all over India and especially in Maharashtra to commemorate Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Rajabhishek Day. This day is very significant to Marathi people since this is the first time in decades they had their own king other than the Mughal king. I'm very excited for today's session to know more about this subject and understand significance of these marginalized communities. Babasaheb Kamble is our speaker today. He is the head and assistant professor of history and vice principal of Satish Pradhan Dhanasadhana College, Thane. He holds an MA, MPhil, and PhD from the University of Mumbai. His research interests include modern South Asian history, labor history, urban history, caste studies, and sports history. He has presented his research at major national and international academic forums, including the University of Cambridge and the University of Göttingen. He has received several prestigious fellowships and grants, including the ICHR Junior Research Fellowship, the Asiatic Society Labour Fellowship, the Inlands Research Travel Grant to the UK, the Volkswagen Foundation Travel Grant for Germany, and the Navayana Dalit History Fellowship for his forthcoming book. His scholarly work has appeared in Economic and Political Weekly, and he has also undertaken translation from Marathi into English. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Kamble. Title of his speech is Coronation of Shivaji Maharaj, Understanding and Perspective. Our guest speaker will be involving us in valuable learning and information for 35 to 40 minutes and followed by 30 minutes of question and answer session. So Dr. Kamble, please take it over.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you inviting me to talk on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear.
Yeah. So, Dr. Rahul Sonpimple, Arif Hussain, Sanjay Bhagatji, so and all member of the Boston Study Group and the president of the Boston Study Groups. I'm very obliged that you have invited me to talk on coronation of the Shivaji Maharaj, understanding any perspectives. So before I start my talk, so one has to remember that the lifespan of Shivaji Maharaj was only the 50 years. So within the 50 years, till we are discussing about Shivaji Maharaj, and most of the India is proud about the Shivaji Maharaj. So we can see that within the 50 years, whatever the contribution he has made to these nations, and especially in the Maharashtra, is uncommandable. So before that, if you look the area where Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj ruled, so that was the independent Maratha kingdom. You can see from the left, on my left side, so that very small portion of the India was ruled by the Maratha kingdom. However, in today's scenario, we can see that how the Shivaji Maharaj is influence all over the India. So that's why we can see that the geographical locations of the Maratha kingdom was very small initially when Shivaji Maharaj started, acquiring the various places neighborhood of the Deccan area. But later on, we can see that its impact was very huge. And today's scenario, we can see that the how important figure he has been considered. So now we are living in the 21st generation, 21st world, and we know that the most of the information we get from the various social media, and that's why it is very as a historians, as a student of history, we are very concerned about the whatever the information is uh, pass on through this social media. It is an alarming situation because we think most of the common people and in some extent some historical the some who knows the history, they also confuse what the information they are getting from the social media, and we believe immediately whatever we received in the social media. So that's why we have to understand that whatever we are getting through the social media, that should be authentic information. There should be a reference, there should be a kind of authentic sources to claim that whatever the information is we received from the social media. So that's why uh, nowadays the informations within the few seconds, uh, whether it is a based on the authentic sources or not, it reach all over the world. So that's why we should be cautious what we are, you know, what we are reading and what we are understanding about the any personality. It's not about the only Shivaji Maharaj, it's about the any personality, any historical events. We should be cautious when we are getting information through the social media. Now the books are the very important, and nowadays we can see that the people don't read the books. This is the one example I'm giving, that there are the two books which was written on the Shivaji Maharaj, and the both are the historians. One is the Dr. Jai Singh Rao Pawar, and the second is A.R. Kulkarni. But when I went in the library, when I look that books and when just see the card, so that book was not issued uh, uh, issued it was not issued to the anyone. So such kind of the situation we can see everywhere. So books are lying in the library. No one is interested to go in the library and read the books, and that is why we are misunderstanding history and misinterpreting history, because the books are the only source that we can understand any historical person. So when we talk about the Shivaji Maharaj, there are the kind of the different perspectives, writings on the Shivaji Maharaj. So as a historians, as a curious student of the history, everyone should read all kind of the perspectives. I'm not saying that we should read the one perspective, but we have to read all kind of the perspectives, and then and only we can see that how the history of the Shivaji Maharaj has written by the different perspectives. So if I go one by one, so we have the kind of there are so many novels and the plays written on the Shivaji Maharaj. The history of the Shivaji Maharaj has written through the lens of the left ideology. There is a Bahujan centric interpretation of the history about the Shivaji Maharaj. We have also the colonial perspective, because we know that the India is ruled by the Britishers, and that's why they have their own perspective to understand the history of the Maratha and especially history of the Shivaji Maharaj. There is a right-wing ideology. They are also, kind of the writing and rewriting the history of the Shivaji Maharaj. So they have their own perspectives. There are the fictional books, there are the novels, plays, and as well as there are evidence-based historiography. The most of the historians who are kind of the neutral about the history, neutral about the facts, neutral about the evidence, and they are also writing basis on the uh, what the material or what the sources, what are the kind of the documents they are getting. So these are the kind of the different perspectives we can see in the market, we can see through the social media and all that. So that is important things, what kind of the books you are writing and what kind of the information you are consuming. But one things I will suggest everyone that you read each and every book, each and different perspectives, but ultimately you should rely on the evidence-based historiography, where you can see the kind of the authentic informations. And when historians write the history books, they are also ready to change if they are getting the new material, new sources. So that is the main things. That is the main things about the historians. One who is a true historian, he or she has to change their whatever they have written if they are getting the kind of the different kind of the sources or the documents. So now, if you go to the right-wing ideology, so I'm giving the one example that was written by the Marathi author that is called as the Vakru Bhave. So he was editor of the Kesari newspaper, and he has written the Shivakalin Maharashtra. So if you see the right pictures where he has given the kind of the title of the contents or the chapters. So you can see that 24 number chapter is something Go Brahman Pratipalak. 25th is the Hindu Dharma and Marathe. 27 is the Samarthanchi Sangatna, that is Samarth Ramdas. 28 is the Samarthanchi Prabhavar. So you can see that while understanding Shivaji Maharaj through the right wing perspectives, that right wing perspective is more emphasized on the Go Brahman Pratipalak. So that is Go is a cow, Brahman is Brahman, and Pratipalan. So kind of they are portraying Shivaji Maharaj as a protector of the cow and the Brahmins. So they are emphasizing on the Go Brahman Pratipalan. So that is kind of the most of the right wing ideology perspective books focuses on the Shivaji Maharaj and more on the religious perspective of the Shivaji Maharaj rather than other perspectives. So emphasize on the religious discourse regarding the Shivaji Maharaj and mostly emphasize on the Go Brahman Pratipalak. Next ideology, that is the Bahujan-centered historical narratives, where we can see that Mahatma Jyotirao Phule, so his Povada or the ballad is most important, where Mahatma Phule is describing Shivaji Maharaj as a Kulwadi Bhushan. So that is basically a king of farmers, a king of kind of the all if I speak in the other languages, that is a king of the rest of the Brahmins. Okay, rest of the Brahmins in the Maharashtra. So the Mahatma Phule is kind of portraying Shivaji Maharaj, who is related with the farming class, who has a kind of the given benefits to the farmers. Then second is also the Prabodhan Thakre. He has also written books on the Shivaji Maharaj. So where he's portraying Shivaji Maharaj as a diplomat. So he's exploring another kind of the Shivaji Maharaj, a kind of a different perspectives. He's going beyond a kind of Go Brahman Pratipalak. So he's looking Shivaji Maharaj how he was a great diplomat. Even if you see the Savitri Mai's Phule's poem, she has written in the Kavya Phule, where she written the Chhatrapati Shivaji. If you read the second line, she is saying that Shudradi Ati Shudrancha Prabhu Vandu Manobhave. So Shivaji Maharaj as portrait, Shivaji Maharaj as a kind of a king of the Shudradi Ati Shudrancha. So Shudradi and Ati Shudrancha means scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, okay, untouchables. So he was a king of those who are kind of the outcast. So we can see these are the Bahujan-centered historical narratives where we can see that Shivaji Maharaj as portrayed as a king of farmers, king of Shudras and Atishudras, and also a different kind of the dimensions of the Shivaji Maharaj political ideology has been explored by the Bahujan-centric a kind of the uh, uh, different figures. The next is which is very recently also there was a controversy on this book that is written by the Govind Pansare, Shivaji Kon Hota, who was the Shivaji. Uh, uh, Basically, the controversy was about the title, why only the Shivaji, why there was another Chhatrapati and why there was another Shivaji Maharaj. Even you can see the Prabodhan Thakre's book also is also about only the Shivaji. We can't see that there was a Chhatrapati and Maharaj, but there is that the controversy about that. But if you read these books, we can see that the left a kind of the a kind of the left wing historiography can be seen through the Shivaji Kaun Hota. This is very small book, only 20 rupees, but it has kind of the most of the controversial issues has been handled by the Govind Pansare. He justified the various he clarified the various myth about the Shivaji Maharaj. The next is about the colonial historiography. So when British has started to ruling the Pune and the Maharashtra, Bombay and the Maharashtra, Mumbai and the Maharashtra. So basically, James Grandduff has written the history of the Marathas, and also a few years back, James Lane written about the Shivaji, and that book is banned in India. So that Shivaji Hindu King in Islamic India. So these are the some colonial historiography where they had biases. They did they are kind of the misinterpretation of the Shivaji Maharaj. So that kind of the historiography we can also read. The next is a hostile interpretation of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj by the kind of the people or the authors who were a part of the Mughal Empire. So that is a Masire Alamgari. Masire Alamgari was the basically chronicle of the Alamgir. Alamgir is here Aurangzeb. It was written in nearly about the 710 after death of this Aurangzeb. So obviously it was kind of the portraying Aurangzeb as a great king, and it was he has written about the kind of negative about the Shivaji Maharaj. But here we can see that we also see that through these books also we can see that how the Shivaji Maharaj was a great king, because that Aurangzeb and his quote these historians Sakim Mustid Khan has to take the account of the and the whatever the activities has taken by the Shivaji Maharaj in the Deccan. The next, this is a fictional literatures, basically novels and plays. Ram Ganesh Gadkari is Raj Sanyas, Ranjit Desai Sriman Yogis. So these are the literature also we have to be careful, because these are the fictionals. So there might be a kind of the the things which didn't happen, which are not factual information that has been incorporated in the such kind of the books, because they are themselves called as the novels and the fictions and the plays. So sometimes the people misunderstood that something is written in the Rajsanya, something is written in the Rajendra Sai. They think that it is a based on the factual information, but sometimes it's not a true. These are the evidence-based historiography on the Shivaji Maharaj. So there are the Jaidesh Shakhawli, there are the Ashivati Shivshari, A.R. Kulkarni, H.S. Sardesai. So there are the so many Jaisingh Rao Pawar from the Kolhapur, then Setu Madhavrao Pagdi, Sri Chhatrapati. Then we have the Vasi Bendre, Vasudev, and again Vasi Bendre. Then we have a kind of so many historians has written about the Shivaji Maharaj. So these are the kind of research-based secondary sources. We have also some a kind of the primary sources about the one who knows the Modi script, one who knows the kind of the Peshwa, one who can read the daptars and the rumals in the Bhandarkar, kind of the Bhandarkar Institute. So they can go and they can read uh, uh, primary sources. So as a historians, we also kind of the recommend that as a history students, we will I always used to say that we have to read all kind of the perspectives. We have to read also the research based secondary sources. Then you have to decide what do you understand, what do you think about the Shivaji Maharaj and his history. So reading is important, and once you read the such all kind of the history books along with these all perspectives, then you can realize that where truth lies. Okay, so you after reading such kind of the books, you can say that that what is a kind of the closing truth, or what is the reality happen in the life of the Shivaji Maharaj. So now before I start going to the coronations, I will briefly talk about the Shivaji Maharaj and their important events. Why it is important? Because if you understand his lifespan, it is only the 50 years, and in very small age he has taken a kind of the courageous decisions. He has also faced the kind of the uh, a lot of tensions at the very young age in his life. Though he was a successful, that's why in what age, at the what age he has a kind of taken the decision, that is also the important, because it will also lead to the other kind of the controversy happens with the Shivaji Maharaj. If you see this year wise, we can see that at the age of the 10, he was married with the Sahibai Nimbalkar. At the age of 15, he took the oath as Swarajya at the Rayeshwar Fort. So we can see at the age of the 15, so he was kind of thinking about the Swarajya. So it is very difficult to imagine at the age of the 15 a kind of one who talk about the Swarajya and all that. But as I mentioned, from the childhood he was kind of the it's because of his mother, Jizau. He was kind of the trained in to think that way. And also in this, at the age of the 15, he also punished the Patil of the Gujar, who was kind of the outraging the modesty of the women. And we can see that how the at the age of 15 he was thinking about the justice. He was thinking about, obviously it was there was a Jizau with him. That was also the important part. Later I will say. Then then 1647, at the age of 17, he captured the Torna fort. Then at the age of the 27, we can see that the birth of the Sambhaji Maharaj. And at the age of the 29, we can see the Afzal Khan episode at the Pratapgarh. So that was the very important episode, and it was kind of the first, uh, it was important event in the life of the Shivaji Maharaj, because he was a successful there. He could become a king of the Maharashtra. So that's why that incident was a very important. And uh, at the age of 29, he took that decision to to meet the Afzal Khan, because Afzal Khan was a powerful. He had the kind of this soldiers, armor, everything he had. And Shivaji Maharaj was not that much kind of the powerful as compared with the Afzal Khan. Still, he took that decisions. Still, he took that challenges, and he was a kind of successful. At the age of 33, we can see that the Shaiste Khan raid on the Shaiste Khan and that episode. So that was also the important event in the life of the Shivaji Maharaj. So at the same times, we can see that at the age of the 34, that there is a death of Shivaji Maharaj. So there are kind of the at the age of 29, 33, 34, he was kind of the challenging so many obstacles in the life. So there was Afzal Khan, there was a Shaiste Khan, and suddenly death of the Shahaji Maharaj. So we can imagine how the Shivaji Maharaj was living his life, at the age of the 30s. So he was struggling everywhere. There were the problems everywhere. He was, overcome these problems. Again, at the age of the 35, he obviously before that only he started fighting with the Mughals. There was a Treaty of Purandar, and he accept from the Agra in 1666. That was the age of the 36. So we can see that how in a young age, Shivaji Maharaj was fighting with the Mughals also. He's coming from the he went to the Agra. He challenged the Aurangzeb, and he escaped from the Agra. So we can imagine how the in a young age he took the a kind of the big and biggest challenge in his life. Then at the age of the 44, he declared himself as the king, and that coronation of the Shivaji Maharaj happened at the Raigad. That is the 6 June 74. So we'll talk on the coronations, but before that, immediately after the 6 June, after the coronations event, within the 10 days, there is a death of the Rajamata Jizabai, and that was a kind of, a kind of the people thought, because of some coronations rituals and not following some religious rituals, so it death has happened. But we can see that it was a 77 age, and that was a kind of a natural death happened with the Rajamata Jijabai, but it was misinterpreted, and that's why Shivaji Maharaj has to go with the second coronations. That was in the 24th September 1674. And we know that at the age of the 50, Shivaji Maharaj, uh, uh, 3rd April 1680, death of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So within the 50 years, we have seen that how Shivaji Maharaj has achieved a lot things, and till we are kind of understanding his life, and also we are kind of exploring his life. Yeah, now that the most controversial about the Shivaji Maharaj, who was the teacher. So there are there are some perspectives. Again, what I mentioned about the earlier perspective, that Bahujan centric, left oriented, and also the kind of right wing, and also the neutral. So everyone portrayed a different kind of the personality as a uh, kind of the teacher of the Shivaji Maharaj. So some people say it was a Ramdas Swami. Some people says it was a Tukaram Maharaj. Some people says it was a Dadoji Kondev. But if you analysis the life of Shivaji Maharaj, and if you take the definition of the teacher, so one who is the teacher? If you understand who is the teacher, now we also teach in the colleges, but we teach for the 3 years graduate students. But we cannot be a kind of the true teacher of those students, because we are with them only for the 3 years. So in a different stages we have the different kind of the teachers. But if you analyze the Shivaji Maharaj life, you can see that from the beginning only Jizau was there. Okay, so Jizamata was from the childhood. When he took the Swarajya at the age of the 15th, Jizamata was there. When there was the incident happened at the Afzal Khan episode at the Pratapgarh, Jizamata was with him. When Shaiste Khan raid happened, so Jizamata was with, Jizamata was a supportive. And the most important thing is that in the life of the Jizamata, that is a death of the Shahaji Maharaj happened in the 1664. But she did not choose to become a sati. Instead of the sati, she did not commit for the sati. She did not followed the those times rituals, and that was kind of the one social reformer. That was also the challenge, the then whatever the rituals happening. So we can see that how the Jizau's decision was a very important to after 10 years, when the Shivaji Maharaj became a king, and when Treaty of Purandar happened, and when Shivaji Maharaj went to the Agra, that time Jizau was here in the Maharashtra to look after the entire whatever the Deccan area which was ruled by the Shivaji Maharaj. So you can see that every moment, every difficult phase, and whatever the decisions at the early age Shivaji Maharaj took, it was because of the Jizau. So uh, as a historians, and I will say that Jizau was the teacher of the Jiza was the teacher of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Obviously, there were the other people who came in their life. I'm not saying it was not. No, there are the meetings with the other people also, but it was very for the short term period, and it didn't affect the entire life of the Shivaji Maharaj. Only the Jizau's help or the guidance and the kind of the backing to the Shivaji Maharaj was only the helpful to become a Shivaji Maharaj to become a king of the Maratha. So that's why Jizau was the a kind of, we can consider her as a teacher of the Shivaji Maharaj. Now we'll go to the coronation part, that is happened in the 6th June 1674. So what was the reason behind the coronation? The first was to establish, to legitimate and a sovereign kingship. The most important part of the Indian context, the most of the kings in India, they were the first, they were the prince, and then later become the king. Very few we can see that they claim themselves as the king, and that's why Shivaji Maharaj was one among them who didn't have that kind of the legacy of the king and the kingships. So he has created himself. Okay, he has created the a kind of the kingdom on his own basis, and that's why he wanted to establish a legitimate sovereign kingship. That was the one thing. And second, the most of the neighborhood of the Maratha or the kingdom of the Shivaji Maharaj, so they used to consider Shivaji Maharaj as a rebellious Jagirdar or the feudal chief, and he wanted to a kind of dispel that notion that he belonged from the rebellious Jagirdar. So that was the another reason, and also to refute that belief that no Kshatriyas existed in the world. So there was a story about that the Kshatriyas are not no they are not basically they were vanished by the Parshurama, and there is no existence of the Kshatriyas in this world. Even it is mentioned in the Shudra Shiromani, Krishna Narsimha Snare's concept. So that was also the contemporary literature. So that's why Shivaji Maharaj wanted to do the kind of the coronation ceremony, and also this part of the sanskar. So these are the kind of few reasons why Shivaji Maharaj wanted to do the coronations. So now if you do the if you listen to the if you look the coronation ceremony, so we have the kind of some data which shows how the a kind of not only the Maharashtra from the United Kingdom, also from the Henry Occidens was English, from the Bombay. He visited to the court of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and also he presented a diamond ring worth of the. So now it is I have written the 1,650, but it was total value if you consider in today's yeah, that was amount 3,065 in those times. Also, we have seen that on the 4th June 1674, there was a kind of ceremony called the Suvarnatula, that is a golden waving ceremony, where he, kind of 17,000 horns were waved, and it was donated as a charitable gifts to the all over kind of the public who came to the Raigad fort. Now the total expenditure of the coronation. So now this kind of the amount has been calculated based on the AI. So in those days it was a 10 lakh horns. If you now convert to the kind of the in the rupees, it approximately about the 1 crore 42 lakhs. Obviously there was the golden throne, and it was valued approximately 14 lakh horns. Dakshina was given to the Gaga Bhatt, and as we know the story about the Gaga Bhatt, uh, when there was a coronation ceremony was decided, the few kind of the few Brahmins from the Maharashtra who they opposed to the coronation ceremony. So that's why Shivaji Maharaj has to call Gaga Bhatt from the north, and he was given 7,000 horns as a honorarium or as a dakshina. There was the total 24,000 horns was distributed as a charity, and the duration of the charity for the 12 consecutive days it was given. So again, there was the second coronations. So where we can see that Nichal Puri Gosavi conducted the coronations rituals. According to the tantric traditions, there was the worship of the village deity, that is the Gram Devta, local deity, Sthal Devta, regional deity, Desh Devta, and pavilion deity, Maha Mandap Devta. So these are the deities where perform using the tantric rituals and mantras, and we can see that Bhosle dynasty followed the certain non-Vedic ritual traditions as due to this second coronations. And this ceremony was performed in a non-Vedic and relatively simple manner. Earlier, we can see that there was a kind of a large amount was involved, but in the second coronations, it was very simple, and not that much expenditure was taken place. And if you see this social engineering part of the Shivaji Maharaj coronations, you can see that a kind of the every community was involved in this coronation ceremony, and as a king he could have use his power to dismantle the one who oppose, but Shivaji Maharaj didn't do that. He used here basically he didn't use his sword, but he used the piece. And that's why we have to understand that the coronation was an important part in his life, where rather than the sword, he used the other kind of a democratic setup he has used to for this is both coronation. What is the political impact of the constitution of the coronation? So basically, as I mentioned, why Shivaji Maharaj wanted to establish, why we wanted to go with the coronation ceremony, because he wanted to claim himself as a sovereign. And immediately after this coronation part, we have seen that Qutub Shah, Abul Hassan Qutub Shah, invited Shivaji Maharaj as a king of the Maratha, and that was a very important political message all over the world. I'm saying the world because those times the Britishers were here, the other Portuguese, Dutch, Siddhis, Mughals, Nizam Shahi, all. Not the Nizam Shahi, but Adil Shahi and all. So they were kind of the part of the neighborhood of the Shivaji Maharaj kingdom, and that's why invitation of the Abul Hassan Qutub Shah was a very important, factor where he became a kind of the legitimate or legalized a king of the Maratha kingdom, and it was accepted by other kingdom also in the later phase. So one there is another important contributions after the coronation. So that is about the Rajya Vyavhar Kosh. So basically, this is book was this book was for the administrative purpose, and there were so many Persian and the Farsi words were replaced as a yeah, and it was replaced by the Marathi words. Like kitab is a Persian verse, so earlier it was used to be the kitab, but later on we can see that it was replaced as the Padvi. Diwan was replaced as the Sachiv. Garam, that is a hot, was replaced by the Ushna. Gulam was replaced by the Das. So these are the few examples, but there are the kind of the number of words were replaced, and the Marathi was a kind of the Marathi words were used in the administrative structure. So that is a most important kind of most important part of the coronations. Normally we neglect such issues or the such impact in the life of the Marathi people. So now I will go to the kind of I'm shifting to the Shivaji Maharaj and the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. Uh, yeah. So this is the letter of the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. It was written on the 26th July 31, and it was written to the Bahurao. So I think that it was Dada Saheb Gaikwad. So if you see that on the letter, there is a kind of the slogans. So where it is written as the Jai Bhavani and Jai Shivaji. So we have seen in the letters of the Baba Saheb Ambedkar, he has written the Jai Bhavani and Jai Shivaji. So in today's context also, we have to understand that Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar's was also the influence by the life of the Shivaji Maharaj, and initially he used to write Jai Bhavani Jai Shivaji. So there is another incident that it was in the Amravati. It is a kind of the para from the Janta newspaper, where there was a kind of people came together at the Amravati, and it was a temple satyagraha at the Amravati, Ambadevi temple satyagraha at Amravati. So if you read that, the most of the women and a kind of the uh, people from the downtrodden people, they came together and they used to say that Shraddhanand ki jai and Shivaji Maharaj ki jai. So most of the times we have seen that in the Baba Sahib's movement, the people used to give slogan of the Shivaji Maharaj ki jai. Then again, we have seen that in the Badlapur also, it's very close to the Thane, where Shivaji Maharaj Jayanti was celebrated. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Baba Sahib Ambedkar was invited as the president on 3rd May 1927, where he also emphasized the importance of the Shivaji Maharaj political ideology in the life of the Maharashtra. And again, we can see that he has also narrated his a kind of the experience of the Mahad Saudar water tank satyagraha, where Baba Sahib went to the Raigad fort, where he visited where whatever he visited in the Raigad Fort, he took the blessing of the Shivaji Maharaj Samadhi. So that kind of the descriptions has been appeared in the Janta newspaper. So in a sense, we have to understand that basically the life of the Shivaji Maharaj was also the kind of the inspiration to the Dalit movement when it was started in the 1930s and 40s. Yeah, so I think to the end, I will say that we have to understand Shivaji Maharaj through the books, through the writings, not through the social medias, and we have to take the kind of the rational approach to understand the Shivaji Maharaj. Then and then we can understand his life, his struggle, and even in the 1950s and 1960s, we have seen the Sayukta Maharashtra movement, where we have seen that Shivaji Maharaj was inspirational for the Sayukta Maharashtra movement, and Sayukta Maharashtra movement was something like people from the different class and the caste came together and they fought again for the Sayukta Maharashtra movement. So Shivaji Maharaj was not kind of only the importance in the 16th and 17th century, till 21st century. Also, we have seen his courage, and he remember as a kind of ideological figure uh, to the most of the people. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Baba Sahib Kamle. It was very informative sessions. We learned a lot of new things about Shivaji Maharaj, and for me, it is something like a refreshing course which we learn in the childhood, during the high school and all this. So thank you very much. So we will open it for the any questions from the attendees. They can put their questions in the chat box, or if they would like to ask the questions, they can raise the hand. So before we go to the their question, I have a few questions for them. So there are a lot of controversies regarding the Shivaji Maharaj and the books written on him, as well as Baba Sahib said in his Who Were the Shudras, about the role of the Brahmins in the coronation ceremony and all this, especially controversy regarding the Brahmins from the Maharashtra. They're not willing to do the coronation ceremony, and Shivaji Maharaj has to go all the way to the Varanasi or the Kashi to get that Gaga. But all this controversy means now there is a lot of additional informations may be available and all this. So what exactly your take on such controversies? That is one thing. And as you said in the beginning, the right wing people are trying to project the Shivaji Maharaj with their lenses, through their lenses, correct? And I realized that when I was watching some YouTube videos on the coronation ceremony itself. So that is one question. And second thing, we know that the contemporary Baba Sahib has basically were part of some events and all these. But I would like to know from your study as a historian, what is the impact during that time this coronation ceremony has on the people from the oppressed community? Because I understand during the coronation itself, when it was done by the Gagavat, all the people from the poor Varnas were allowed to do Abhishek, correct? But the material they used to do the Abhishek were different depending on the category of their caste, correct? So, but I never heard that somebody from the um, Asprusha community were involved in that particular Abhishek. It is just up to the Shudra, means Shudra were allowed to do with the water or something like. So what impact basically this coronation has on the oppressed community at that time? And is there any elevation in some way from the way they were treated before? Is there any changes afterwards? We would like to know about that one. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah. So the first is first important that when we read the history of the Shivaji Maharaj, again, there are I mentioned about the different perspectives, and we should read all perspective. That is my personal opinion. And when you read the all perspective, you'll get the answer about the what the controversy and who is making the controversy and what is the a kind of the motto of that controversy. We can also understand. The most important thing is that if you see the recruitment of the Shivaji Maharaj army, okay. So obviously we don't have that kind of the document or the historical sources to claim that from which community what kind of the percentage was recruitment was there. But definitely when he started his career from the early age, we have seen that the from the all community, uh, uh, and most of the downtrodden, or the in the historical language, Shudras and the Ati Shudras. So they were a kind of the part of the Shivaji Maharaj armies. So that was the most important things. Changes happen in the life of the Shivaji Maharaj. If you go to the a kind of, if you go examples of the wherever Shivaji Maharaj has ruled, and kind of the part of that area, if you see the lands of the kind of land portions of the Shudras and the Atu Shudras, we can see that a kind of the some portion of the land they have received, received from those times. So because that was the one of the part of the monetary kind of the benefit from. And the second one, the important things what happened, Shivaji Maharaj has stopped the Jagirdari. So kind of the feudal system he has stopped, and that was the most kind of discriminative system in medieval period. And that has uh, a kind of the freed the it became a kind of after the abolitions of the such kind of the Jagirdari systems, obviously definitely directly helped to the Shudras and Atishudras, because they were kind of used as a slave. They were kind of they exploited in their farming land, and also through the taxes and all that. So that's why we have to go to the again Mahatma Phule, where he is saying that the Kulwadi Bhushans, because directly it helped. It was against the Jagirdari, and kind of the Jagirdari system was kind of the Zamin. It's a kind of the Zamindari and Jagirdari. It was kind of basis on the exploitations, and that was kind of and the second, if you see this his policy toward the farmers and all that, obviously who were the farmers? The farmers were from the kind of the middle caste groups, and also from the lower caste groups. So that's why his policies toward the farmers was very important, because he never whenever he wanted to do the kind of the military campaign, he never in the month of July, something like that, it was not allowed, and matlab, so that kind of the his attitude towards the farmers was important. And again, these farmers were doing the both things. They were farmers also, and they were also the part of the military campaign. So in medieval period, Shivaji Maharaj has started such kind of the policies which help to this farmers, and basically farmers belong from the middle class or the lower caste, so that definitely benefited. They were recruited in the a kind of they were recruited in the military. They got monetary benefit also, and even also some part of the land they could get. And that's why if you do the analysis, wherever Shivaji Maharaj has ruled, you can see that the lower caste people had in a kind of this some portions of the land. Obviously after few many years it was divided among themselves, and now it became a very small part. But if you go to the history of that land, who owned and how much land. So the most of the middle class, kind of the today's OBCs, and also the Shudras and Ati Shudras, they could get such. So that was the one important things. And again, you mentioned about the coronation and that controversy. The basically even matlab, it's what the coronation was something to the challenge the then pandits and the Brahmins who had the kind of they wanted to have the authority over the kingships. They wanted that the Brahmin should be in the top and the Kshatriya should be in the second. but Shivaji Maharaj has challenged them also, and that challenge was also made impact on the social scenario of the Maharashtra. You can see that after the even appointment also, basically after the coronations, you can see it was not like that Brahmins were not appointed in the Ashtapradhan Mandal. They were appointed, but they were appointed on the basis of their merit, and it was basis kind of the it was not for the generation to generation. It was for the a shorter period. Whenever you are performing, you are showing the merit, you will be continue. If you're not performing, you are not good performer, then you will be removed. So Shivaji Maharaj also kind of the gave message to the everyone that once you become a kind of once you chose any positions, you are not going to longer, you are not going to pass that position to your next generation. So that was also the important things, after coronation has impact, and it has also the social impact. That's why we can see that in a later phase, a kind of uh, uh, after 100 year also, we can see that from the different community, like Ailabai Holkar and all that, okay, they were from the different community, but they became a strong kind of the small chieftains, and it was rooted in the kind of the administrative of the Shivaji Maharaj policy. So that was his policies. Then we can see it's kind of the product in the later phase, kind of the before British comes. We have seen that Nagpur Bhosles, uh, different parts Indias and all that. So they were not from the all, from the higher caste. They were from the middle class also, Dangar and all that. So those are the caste people claim themselves as a kind of uh, small. They established their kingdom. So that was rooted in the policies of the Shivaji Maharaj, and that was immediately after the coronations. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. We have one hand raised. Just in continuation of this question. So you said that he has the Amatya Mandala, all correct?
Yeah.
So, and after the coronation, there were at least how many? 44 to 50. So that means 6 years he has that as a king. So during that period, is there any evidence of the people from the oppressed on the untouchable community were part of Amatya Mandal? Any examples of those?
No, we don't have such evidence. The problem about the to understand this medieval period, the sources limitations is there. So that's why we don't have such. But we can't say that it was not not about the Amatya Mandal, this Ashtapradhan Mandal, but in other positions also, a kind of Shudras and that Shudras were appointed. But the again, it is a problem about the sources. But if you look the larger context, we can see that we can claim that the position was given to the uh, uh, middle class and the lower caste, the able people.
Okay, great. Thank you. Madhulika, you can, I believe, unmute yourself.
Thank you. I feel like but due to certain reasons, I joined late, so maybe I missed something, some points.
Can
But
you speak a little
in
louder, please? We are having yeah.
मैं डायरेक्टली क्वेश्चन पे आती हूँ जो भी आप मेरी आवाज अब क्लियर हो रही है हेलो
Yeah,
Yes.
Madhulika,
Yeah.
go ahead, please.
जैसा कि भी आपने आंसर में एक्सप्लेन किया कि शिवाजी का रोल शुद्रों अति शुद्रों के लिए क्या रहा तो जो भी आपने पॉइंट बताया वो मुझे काफी पॉलिटिकल पॉइंट लगता है जैसे कि अगर हम एज एन रूरल हम सोचते हैं कि चीजों को ठीक करना ताकि हमारी रेवेन्यू सोर्सेज बढ़ सके और बाकी हम चीजों को पॉलिटिकली या इकोनॉमिकली में चीजें संभाल सके या फिर राज कर सके काम कर सके तो उसके लिए जो मिनिस्ट्री थी उन्होंने शिवाजी ने ऐसा किया उन्होंने पर्सनली कोई मतलब एक जो हमारा माइंडसेट होता है उस जिसके थ्रू हम अति शुद्ध के लिए काम करना चाहते हैं वैसा नहीं लगता है और दूसरी बात है कि आपने बताया कि शिवाजी ने मतलब जो ब्राह्मण मतलब कोई भी पोस्ट हेरिडिटरी ना होकर के एक क्वालिफिकेशन पे बेस्ड था तो अगर आप और बाकी लोगों ने उनकी कॉपी की या उनको आइडल माना, तो ये तो हम अगर ऐसे देखें तो ये अकबर से भी शुरू हो सकता है, या फिर सिकंदर से भी, या फिर अशोक से भी, या मतलब जिससे भी, क्योंकि कोई भी रूलर होता है वो ये चीज करता ही करता है मेनली। और आप जहाँ दूसरी तरफ से आप बात कर रहे हैं कि ये भीमराव अम्बेडकर बाबा साहब जो थे, उन्होंने जय भी मतलब जय शिवाजी और जय भवानी का नारा लगाया, वो भी आइडियोलॉजिकल नहीं लगता है, क्योंकि अगर उनकी जो भी बुक्स पढ़ते हैं तो उसमें ऐसा मेंशन नहीं है, बहुत ज्यादा मेंशन नहीं आता है या डायरेक्टली, क्योंकि उन्होंने बहुत सारी बुक्स लिखी हैं, बहुत सारी चीजें क्लियर की हैं। तो शिवाजी के बारे में ऐसा कहीं खास मेंशन किया भी नहीं है। ये भी पॉलिटिकल लगता है। जो भी आपका लेक्चर है पूरा का पूरा वो शूद्र पे कम, उसे एम्फेसिस से जोड़ने की कोशिश ज्यादा हो रही है, और ये रियल सिनेरियो से काफी अलग होकर के मतलब फोर्सफुली लग रहा है, क्या फोर्सफुली चीजों को कनेक्ट करने की कोशिश करते हैं, क्या ऐसा है? मतलब कि मैं जानना चाहती हूँ बाबा साहब को, इसलिए मैं आपसे पूछ
Yeah. You have every right to disagree with me, and but whatever I said about the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar and Shivaji Maharaj, if you see this kind of the letter of the Babasaheb Maharaj, Babasaheb Ambedkar, already they have clearly mentioned. The next, this is from the Janta newspaper. Okay, the news has appeared in the Janta newspaper. Again, the third one, if you can see the pictures, so these are directly taken from the Janta newspaper. I'm not saying that. See, the thing is that in the early phase, I mentioned in the early phase, 1930s and 40s, especially 1930 till 27. You can see this. This is the 1927, and this is about. Okay. So this is a something about the again 1930s. So whatever I am claiming, that is from the Janta newspaper, and the Janta newspaper was part of the Ambedkar's movement, and it was started by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar only. One things, and obviously whatever you said, it can be with the Akbar, whatever the whatever you mentions. So obviously, I'm not saying that when if you come kind of Akbar, you have mentioned about the Akbars. We have, matlab, every king has a kind of the different qualities. Okay. So this is talk about the Shivaji Maharaj. So I thought whatever the kind of the different perspectives. And again, I'm saying that if you want to understand the Shivaji Maharaj or any historical, so that the kind of in my first half, I talk about the various kind of the perspectives, and I don't buy any perspectives. Okay. As a historians, we should be a neutral, we should be and that's why I'm saying that there is no evidence of the Dalits or the untouchables were appointed as the Ashtapradhan Mandal. I'm not saying that. Okay. I'm not claiming that also, and that was not true also, because obviously those whatever the Ashtapradhan, they will belong from the higher caste. But what I saying that there are the certain things like it has directly helped to the Shudras and some extent Ati Shudras also. And I'm not saying that it was like basically whatever the Dalits are getting beneficiaries because of the kind of the democracy setup, the Mahatma Phule, and whatever the other Mahatma Phule, Savitribai, Babasaheb Ambedkar, Shahu Maharaj. So they have kind of the made a drastic revolutions. I'm not saying Shivaji Maharaj was a revolutionary to make a society on the equal basis, okay, equity, because he was a king. He was not, part of this demo kind of a kind of the social reformers happen in those periods. So different situations were there. But at the same time, we should not deny there are some, kind of the positive things which has, because he also faced that discrimination. It's not like that he didn't face such kind of the discriminations. To He had kind of the n number of the soldiers. He had the power. Then also those and then Brahmins oppose his coronation ceremony. So that was also the discrimination against him also. Even I mentioned about the Jizau, who refused to go for the sati. So that was also the challenge. Those kind of the social whatever that the rituals, sati system and all that. Again, I'm telling that kind of in the political and geographical context area kind of century, uh, and if you and I think it is very injustified with every person to compare from the 16th century to 19th and 20th century. In that sense, I think that will be my answer to you. Again, you may differ with me, but whatever I claim, it was a primary sources and it is available in the Janta newspaper.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Baba Saheb.
again,
I
yeah,
have the
two
follow-up
addition.
questions on that, but we have the two hands raised. So I will go first with the Arif, and then we will go
Yeah,
to Babu Raoji, and then I will ask my question. Oh, Arif, go ahead, please.
yeah.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you, Professor Kamble. Extremely informative, especially for the Marathi sources. Sorry, I don't can't read. I mean, I can read Marathi in Devanagari, but I don't understand it. So a lot of books were new to me. So I just on the question of the interaction between Shivaji Maharaj and the local Brahmins, basically the Bhat Konkanist Bhat Brahmins who later became under Sambhaji Maharaj, who became Peshwas. So, in the sense of in terms of relationship, I mean, we of course you elaborated very well on the controversy around the coronation, that whether Shudra like Shivaji Maharaj was even eligible to be claimed a king, and the whole controversy. But once the kind of these Brahmins make inroads into the administration, like as you said, that they were appointed at various positions based on their qualification. And of course in 1713, when Samaji Maharaj first appoint, I think if I'm not, I could be off by a couple of years, when Samaji Maharaj appoints these Bhat Brahmins as the Peshwas, and they later on they take over the empire. But I also look at kind of their sort of affiliation or their dedication. Like I mean, I've read Jyotiba Phule, and as per our information, as per what he wrote, is he rediscovered, he actually discovered the
ये पुल
Shivaji
और ग्राफ
Maharaj
क्या
Samadhi.
डिफरेंस है यार?
Shivaji Maharaj Samadhi in 1869, right? And the Peshwas were ruling till almost 1818, right? So within that period, like, how come from 1713 to
Yeah, for
1850 there was
in
a
absence of oxygen, lactic acid बनता है.
can we
Who is
mute
that?
somebody? I don't know.
Let me
Somebody needs to mute
mute.
it. So what I'm saying is that within that 100 years, they ruled in the name of the Sahuji Maharaj and the Shivaji Maharaj's family. But how did it happen that they did not even commemorate to the extent that Jyotiba Phule had to like launch almost an expedition just to discover the Samadhi of Shivaji Maharaj, right? So, I mean, what was the kind of, do we have anything on what was the attitude of the Peshwas towards Shivaji and his legacy, and more importantly, his memory when they were in power for almost 100 years in his name, actually?
Yeah, definitely. To answer these questions, the first till the 1720s, uh, the first Peshwa who came, I think 1712, Balaji Vishwanath, and that other Peshwas become a powerful. Yeah. So obviously the things happen with the Shivaji Maharaj here, that when Peshwa started to gaining power, so obviously there is a decline of this Shahu Maharaj. Okay, and almost in this I think 17 till the 1714th, Peshwa become very powerful, and a kind of for the namesakes they use the uh, Shahu Maharaj and the legacy of the Shivaji Maharaj. So it was only for the namesakes. They wanted to establish their rule, okay, and so in some extent they become a successful because they wanted to kind of ignore the Bhosle Gharanas, Bhosle legacy, and and because of that, uh, obviously when the Peshwa became a powerful, there were there kind of there were the incidents happen that the conflict between the Marathas and the Peshwas or the Brahmins, a specific caste, has taken place a number of times. When the second Peshwa was going to appoint at the age of the 17th, when early age, so it was opposed by the those Marathas, a kind of the powerful person from the Shahjis. So it's not like that. If you see the history of kind of the Maharashtra, it is always a conflict between the Marathas and the Brahmins. Even till today, you can see that uh, you know uh, that Brahmin and Maratha, the to gain the power, it has happened, and it is but obvious that this struggle, okay, always has a shade of the a kind of the two powerful caste. One is the Brahmin and the second is the Maratha. From the Shivaji Maharaj till 2026, in the rural area, in the kind of the, if you read the newspapers in between lines, you can see that this conflict is there. Okay, and it is not. I don't think it will when it will end, and it will not end also because it is a deeply rooted conflict between the Marathas and Kshatriyas. So obviously, both wanted to become a powerful, and that's why when Peshwa become a powerful, they wanted to kind of the diminish or the kind of the vanish the powers of the Bhosles and yeah. So there is a kind of the Mahatma Phule was critical about this, and also Mahatma Phule was critical about the Peshwa. And when he compared with the Shivaji Maharaj rule and the Peshwas, Phule emphasized that the uh, 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 at Bhosle Gharana was a kind of the better for the Shudras and Ati Shudras than the Peshwas. Okay, so this conflict is always there, and because of this conflict, we can see in a certain way it was ignorance about the legacy of the even forget about that it is a that technical things, but again the Shahu Maharaj, who was kind of the legacy of the Shivaji Maharaj, he was not kind of the so many times he was his advice was not taken. So in the when they were living also that times, we can see that the legacy of the Shivaji Maharaj was not considered by the Peshwas. So it was started in days only, and later on obviously they become very powerful. Kind of the Satara's kingdom become very small, and it was only for the namesake only.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I think Babura was there, Sanjay ji.
Yeah, I had a question, but it's
Dr.
a general
Babura,
question.
why don't you go ahead, please? I think Sanjay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, it's a general question, and first, I want to thank you, Professor, for bringing all the history about this Chhatrapati Shivaji. And it's a general question, not to the professor, but to everyone. What we are learning from these lessons, historical lessons, like whatever Pule and Ambedkar ji did, learned from Shivaji, and they did lot of things in the society. But in our generation, why these Brahmins are getting more and more strong, and we are not able to educate our people properly, and just we are educating ourselves and going on, and all these things comes up all the time when we hear about our history, about this type of Shivaji and other people. But what is our action? Where we stand today, and just listening and getting knowledge, and we are just keeping like that. They are becoming stronger. They are only 5-6%, and everyone attracting that side, not a reality. And we have stamp, we are left, or Ambedkarism, or Buddhism, or Christianism. We have the stamps, we made it. But this is a true stories. We don't need any stamp. These are the true stories, what we are learning and what we can do for our, at least for our kids, are we educating our kids not to attract to the Hinduism? Only problem is Hinduism, right? Because they're playing our spirituality, our faith. They're playing. That's the reason more people are attracting towards the Hinduism, and they are becoming a BJP side, and they are wings, and they're using us, but they're not realizing how much they're humiliating us. These are the questions will come all the time. But please, I don't need answer, but please think about it. And if anyone wants answer, please go ahead.
No, I
No,
think it is
I
good
don't.
idea to
Sorry.
understand
Sorry.
what is Professor Kamble's views on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you,
Good.
Sanjay. I just wanted to add and try to make it into a question. Like Professor Kamble, you are in Bombay, so you are actually on the ground. What is the kind of, is there any effort? What do you feel in terms of the young Bahujan activists and young Bahujan people in various groups? We know like few people, like Dr. Rahul Son Pimple and few others we know personally who are working on this and trying to create this consciousness and bring awareness to the Bahujan community. But what is your experience of like in terms of the current movement in this regard? What was just being asked, that how these things are being brought to the people, is there any effort and what kind of resistance those efforts are facing, because we know personally people who are trying to do this, so please.
Yeah, actually, the thing is that whatever the problems we are facing intellectually and to become uh, to get a educations, I think if I look to the history, uh, uh, there were the time when a kind of the situation was the worst than today's. Right now, today, at least we are educated, we are getting in a kind of, we are, if you compare with the those days, like when Baba Sahib Ambedkar has started the movements, he was the only person who was educated. Now there are so many people in the community also, and there are the supporter also, who are kind of in the part of the education systems, in the service and everywhere. I think we should not be kind of the afraid about anything, whatever the forces they are. So they are trying their best to impose their ideology, impose their culture on us, and it is a kind of the continuous process. It's not happen even if you take the from the Buddhism, from the rise of Buddhas to the till the Dr. B.R. Baba Sahib Ambedkar, we have seen such kind of the forces always are there. They wanted to capture the movement. They wanted to kind of the impose their cultural things on us. It will always be there. But again, if you read Baba Sahib Ambedkar thoroughly, and if you implement what he has suggested to overcome such problems, it will be easy for us. The problem is that a kind of there is no consensus from in the moment. What kind of the how should be that, like it should be a political, it should be a socially, or it should be through the educations, what are the means to to overcome these problems. So that consensus within the us, that is also the important. Because if you see in the ground, some people will say that don't say no, don't go in the politics is not answer. Some will say that education is the only kind of the answer to such kind of the the problems, and that we have to take the educations. So different of even some people emphasize on the social movement only, so they don't want to mix up with the political but I think simultaneously everyone has to do their own capacity. Everyone has to come together, whether it is a political movement, whether it is a social, whether it is a cultural. They should come together and do the works. And I think what Baba Sahib has stated, that unity is the most important. Once and the thing is that uh, the problem about the unity is that nowadays we can see that among the also the downtrodden people, they are also divided on the basis of their caste and subcaste. So that force is a powerful than our force. Okay, so we have to also unite. Okay, irrespective of our subcaste, because the the problems of the all scheduled castes, including 51 and something in the I'm talking about the Maharashtra, even in a larger context also, in Indian context also, scheduled caste is not kind of the united to fight the such kind of the forces. So I think rather than rather than looking at the upward, we have to look into the our own problems, find out the problems, and to resolve the problems. And the one big problem is about the unity of the scheduled castes across the country. Once it will happen, and side by side, we have to concentrate on the education movement, kind of cultural movement, social movement, and political movement. But unity, to create the unity among the across the border among the different castes, so that will be, I think, helpful to yeah. And obviously, in you take an example of the any state within the scheduled caste, within the scheduled tribes, they are fighting with among themselves also. So that is kind of alarm to social movement in India.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can
Any
I
other
continue?
follow-up question?
Yeah.
Follow-up
Go
question,
ahead,
yeah.
Barbara. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor. And do you think this is only schedule caste problem, not backward class communities? They are coming together, and the schedule castes are not coming together because of their caste. They are fighting each other.
Did we lose him? Okay. Go ahead.
Baba Sahib, some of that
Yeah,
film
it
showing.
looks like
Yeah, he's
might
back.
have lost him. He's back?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Baba Sahib, you can unmute yourself.
You
Sorry,
heard the
somebody
question,
knocked
correct?
my
Yeah.
door. Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. That's fine. No, I think Barbara, please repeat your question.
Yeah, my question, Professor G. The problem is you are mentioning about scheduled caste. They're fighting for their caste. Yes, I agree that many states now they are realizing the reservations how they used how some of the caste people only got benefits, and that's the reason they're fighting each other. I agree that. But do you think this is a only problem because of scheduled caste coming together, or any BC community backward class?
Uh, at least scheduled castes are, I know they consider themselves as the scheduled caste. Okay. But in the other backward class, they have the another big problem because they don't assume themselves as the other backward class. So rather than matlab, our problem is that we are fighting, but there is that they don't consider themselves as the other backward class. Even in the Maharashtra, you can see that the so many OBC castes, they don't know they belong from the OBC caste. Okay, they don't consider them as a OBC class, so they have the bigger problems. So that is also the big question in front of a movement also. That Because they want in upward mobility, so they don't want to call themselves, because a kind of in the few community in the other backward class, they are because of the business, because in the trade they are involved in the trade and the business, they are well off, and they are kind of having uh, a kind of economically they have sound, and that's why they don't want to call themselves or the other backward classes. So in the other backward classes, they have their more challenges and the more problems.
Okay, that means what I learned, Professor. Thank you. Whoever get economically better position, they are keep silenting, and they are forgetting the truth. That is a problem in India going on, right?
Yeah, so yeah, in some extent we can say, but not apply with the everyone.
But
Yeah, but most of
now my main question is the before we don't have that much education. 100 years ago, or when Ambedkar started the movement, or Baba or Puleji, and that time people are mobilized very well, and they fought for their rights. But nowadays, everyone know their rights. but then they won't come together because of the education. Problem is only education, what I see. Because if whoever get education, they are well off and they are just keep silenting. They are learning about all the truths. But okay, that's fine. What we can do, and they're ignoring all the truths and they're just living like that. And we are learning, like our Boston study group. They were so generous to keep all these lessons from India, like you, and they bring a lot of people every week almost, and I appreciate them. But we are learning only history. But there is, we are seeing in India really going very bad way, negative side compared to olden days. That's the only worry I have. And thank you everyone.
Thank you, Babu Rauji. Venkat, you have the
Yeah.
question?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Baba Sahib ji. It was very knowledge. I mean, like enlightening to know a lot of history and all that. So my question is more related to a little bit to recent, right? This co-option of Hindutva forces of legacy of Chhatrapati Shivaji, showing him as a symbol of Hindutva. So just want to understand the until I think the Mahatma Phule, made an extraordinary effort to go and, find his whatever storm and, try to make him a little bit, um, bring it into what you call limelight or, educate people about him. But I think it all started with Shiv Sena, right? Building a very strong rightist ideology based on, symbolizing Chhatrapati Shivaji as their main this thing and pitching against Muslims. So can you explain how, I mean, is that correct? The more radicalization and, co-opting started with Shiv Sena, and now then, BJP and Hindutva RSS forces are doing this. How this whole thing happened in the modern, last 30-40 years of this, political, usage of Chhatrapati and, So can you enlighten a little bit how that took place and how that happened in the modern history?
I think when Shiv Sena was started,
Yeah.
it was not that much radical. Uh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it was not that much radical because Prabodhankar Thackeray was there,
Hmm.
and it was more on the question of the Marathi. Okay,
Hmm.
and if you see the recent speeches of the uh, Shiv Sena leader, especially and whatever the discourse they are making, so they are coming back to uh, the the kind of the when they have started. Okay, so basically, Hindutva without Bharji and something they use word in various Janwan Bharji, without the Janwan Bharji, something word they have used in their speeches. Again, they have coming back to that kind of the Hindutva. But it was about basically the thing is that happened that it was the political kind of the power which and again through my in my PhD also I have seen that how the Shiv Sena was used against the communist by the Congress government. Okay, so we have
Hmm.
to keep in mind also the Congress was kind of once a time it was called as the Vasant Sena also,
Hmm.
Vasant Dada Patil's. Okay, even I have studied the Shiv Sena, how it entered in the kind of the mill workers. Okay,
Hmm.
textile mill workers, and they established their power through the Congress union called the RMMS, Rashtriya Mill Mazdoor Sangh. So it was the official union of the Congress, but Congress that unions are supported to the Shiv Sena to enter in the textile industry. And later we can see that the 1982 strike and the impacts on the working class movement. And when it was growing in the kind of the first target of the Shiv Sena was the communist. Okay,
Hmm.
to a kind of the power of the communist they wanted to regain in the Mumbai and the kind of the other metropolitan region. And when they realize that they're not going beyond the Mumbai, Thane, and kind of the some cities, I think the name change of the Marathoda University. Okay, so that was the moment they wanted to spread into the rural Maharashtra. Okay, to going against the to become an anti-Dalit. So that was the phase where Shiv Sena became a kind of meantime the communist was in the decline, so they gained power in the Bombay and the metropolitan area, so they wanted to spread in the rural area, and they went against the anti-Dalit, and again in the kind of anti-Muslims. So these are the things where it was in the later phase, and it was basically to gain the political power, and to get the votes of the to the Hindutva ideology and all that. But again, now after the 2019 and all that, they are going back to that original kind of the what the Prabodhankar Thackeray wanted to become a Shiv Sena. So when it was started, and now there is a kind of the drastic ideological changes happen, and Shiv Sena was not something like a base on the kind of the one ideology, because the thing is that when they started about the Marathi Manus and all that, but later on it was kind of they also uh, a kind of they went beyond that. So they didn't kind of they forgot the question of the Marathi Manus also, because 82 strike and the working class, it was against the Marathi Manus. So it was not it was a kind of, though it was a kind of started or the organization, but later on it was a kind of the extremely political motivated organizations, and do that courses to gain that power. They went, whatever they wanted to do, and that's why we have seen that they became a close ally with the uh, BJP also, and now they realize that whatever that stand they were taking, already somebody has taken their stand, and now they are not getting to votes on the basis of
Yeah.
that what ideology was developed in the 80s and 90s. Okay, but
Correct.
initially it was not like that. Okay, it was later on developed just to get the power, a kind of to spread their influence across the Maharashtra. So they use all tactics to become a famous, or to become to get the votes and all that.
Okay, no, that's thank you for clarifying. Just to close the thing.
Yeah, and another
Now I'm seeing
another
Chhatrapati.
point is that
Yeah, please.
sorry, another point is that in the Shiv Sena also we can see that uh, in the later phase, I think if I'm not wrong, Namdev Dhasa
Hmm.
was also the part of, he was also close ally of the Shiv Sena for a longer period, and also the
He's
within the
the Dalit Panther, right? Was
Dalit Panther, and
yeah.
also the within the caste scenario also we can see that the most of the Buddhist, uh, and if we want to name the Buddhist and in the Maharashtra Mahas, so they were not kind of the part of the political movement of the Shiv Sena. So that's
Right.
why Shiv Sena used the other caste, okay,
So
use for political
non-Mahar,
as a
non-Mahar.
representative uh, uh, on various yeah. So that also helped, Shiv Sena to kind of to on the kind of the SC and reserve seats. Okay, so they have used the
Okay, so
other.
they divided. They went against Mahars.
Yeah.
Got it, got it. So yeah, just to close, what I'm seeing is, see, Chhatrapati Maharaj is a great king and all that. I mean, existed, but this radicalization in places like Hyderabad, they're putting statues. And who is putting is the right? All these right-wing forces are putting, and they're using him as a symbol of. So you're right. I think Shiv Sena politically started, but I think it completely now taken over by RSS, BJP, and all over India. They're making him a symbol of anti-Muslim, more importantly than anything else. So that's what is happening very sadly, but. Yeah, I think people like you should continue to do research, right? And whatever we have to do to counter that narrative. Okay. Thank you very much for your answers.
Thank you.
Thank Thank you very much, Professor Kamble, for accepting our invitation and for a very enlightening talk. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank
Jai Bhim,
you.
everybody. Hope to see you
Yeah,
again
Jai Bhim.
for the
Thank you.
future. Jai
Take
Bhim.
care.
Jai Bhim, everyone. Thank you.